Welcome back. My name is Patrick, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at a possible 20-man Oilers roster and what that roster would look like. As of August 13th, the Oilers remain over the salary cap, and Ken Holland has stated that he's willing to go with a smaller roster to get the Oilers cap compliant. The Oilers still have to sign Ryan McLeod, but he's all that's left, and Ken Holland has assured the Oilers fan base that McLeod will be signed before the opening of training camp. In today's video, I want to take a look at what I think a 20-man roster would look like for the Oilers if that's the route that they choose to go down. For this video, I'm going to count Ryan McLeod as a $1 million cap hit. He's estimated to come in at that range. First up, let's look at a roster that includes 12 forwards, 6 defensemen, and 2 goaltenders. My 12 forwards would be Evander Kane, Connor McDavid, Zach Hyman, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Leon Draisaitl, Kyler Yamamoto, Warren Foegele, Ryan McLeod, Jesse Puljujarvi, Matthias Janmark, Derek Ryan, and Devin Shore. My 6 defensemen would be Darnell Nurse, Cody Ceci, Brett Kulak, Evan Bouchard, Philip Broberg, and Tyson Barrie, and of course, my 2 goaltenders would be Jack Campbell and Stuart Skinner. It's a solid roster, has the key players you need, but it does omit a player like Dylan Holloway. With a 20-man roster, the Oilers could also go 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. Jay Woodcroft used this tactic often last season. In this scenario, I would drop Devin Shore up front and add in either Dmitry Samorukov or Markus Niemelainen as my 7th D-man. My preference is Niemelainen, but Samorukov is not waivers exempt, so the Oilers do risk losing him if they send him down, which could give him the inside track on staying. Slater Koekkoek's status is currently up in the air, but he could also end up being an option for that number 7 spot. In theory, the 20-man roster works for the Oilers, but it offers little flexibility. Anything short of a major injury that would allow the Oilers to use long-term injured reserve would put the Oilers in trouble. They would be forced to play with 5 defensemen or possibly 10 forwards, depending on which player is injured. And of course, the Oilers don't have the ability to sign anybody without a trade or demotion happening first. The only player on the 20-man roster I've selected that I can see being demoted is Devin Shore. Looking at this roster, though, you can certainly see why Ken Holland is being patient. He can afford to be. Yes, the injury concern is there, but it's not a huge factor yet. If Holland demotes Devin Shore, he might be able to make a league minimum signing of around $750,000 work, but I think that's his only option if he keeps the status quo otherwise. We know Ken Holland wants to add, but he's clearly waiting for the right opportunity. I think a trade of some kind still ends up happening, and we get at least one more free agent signing, in addition to Ryan McLeod. As I mentioned earlier with Dmitry Samorukov, he's not waivers exempt, so maybe the Oilers use him as a trade sweetener? But Holland has stated he's not afraid to put players on waivers if necessary. At the end of the day, I'll be shocked if the Oilers do end up going the 20-man roster route, but it remains an option in Holland's playbook. Well, guys, that's how my 20-man roster would look. Pretty simple, straightforward. Those are pretty much the obvious players you would go with. Is there a different player that you guys would choose that would still work under the salary cap? Let me know in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan. Take care, guys. I'll see you soon.